Hi, Rúben. You're obviously 5 games unbeaten. You famously said, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there's a storm coming. Yeah. Do you now feel that's over, that sort of worry that you could be engulfed again and go back to sort of not square one, but have a massive setback?
No.
Are those sort of dark days over?
I have always that feeling. I think it's also my job, especially in our club, to always have that feeling. That gives me the sense of urgency in every training that I have. Then again, playing every game in Premier League, you can sense that everything can change so fast because all the teams can win any game. And if you see the bottom, they have a lot of points. So everything can change in one moment. So I don't like to say the storm is over, but we are prepared. We are more prepared for any storm in this moment. So let's take this sense of urgency to every game.
So the reverse of that, if anything can happen, could you become, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games unbeaten? Is that possible as well?
We need to think to be 6 games unbeaten. But then unbeaten is not enough. I came from these last 2 games, but especially the last one, very frustrated. So for us, it's not enough. In this club, it doesn't matter the moment. It is not enough to be unbeaten. Unbeaten is not everything. We didn't win the last 2 games. So I think like that. I don't think that we are unbeaten 5 games ago. In my mind, we don't win a game. We are going to the 3rd game. In the last 2, we didn't win. So that is my feeling.
Hi, Rúben. Kobbie Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee haven't played too much this season. If they asked to leave the club in January, whether that be on loan, would those requests be entertained, or have you made the decision?
The first thing is that the club comes first place. So we have to think about the club and the team, and then everything can happen. And I was a football player. I understand everything, and I want to help my players in every situation. So I don't know what is going to happen. I want my players happy. I understand the frustration of some players seeing that the World Cup is there, and I know what it means for the World Cup, but Manchester United comes first. So if I can help the club and the players, I will be happy. If not, I have to think about the team.
On a slightly similar note, and I know it's looking ahead a little bit, but given the progress you've made with the squad rebuild, would you say that midfield is the area that has to be reinforced and strengthened next year?
It's hard to say that, but I think we can add in the future. I don't know when, different characteristics. The same thing that our thinking in front sometimes is not the quality of the players, the characteristics of the players, and we can improve in some areas in our club. But I'm happy with the guys that we have in the moment, and I think they have so much more to give. So it's my job to think about them, not the other guys that are not here.
And just one of those players, Manuel Ugarte, he's struggled when he has started this season. You know him very well. Are you surprised by his performance level and not?
No, I understand if you also, you are here longer than me, and you can sense that a lot of very good players come here and sometimes they struggle, and they are struggling. He's struggling in the moment, but it's our job to try to help our players. And again, everything can change, and you saw it 5 weeks ago. The environment was completely different. So I know that Ugarte is struggling in the moment, and my job is trying to help him to feel as a player like I felt when he was a Sporting player, for example. But it's a different world, and he needs to adapt, and he needs to improve, especially in training.
James?
Rúben, you talked about this. It's not just the quality of the players, it's the characteristics. You've made a lot of changes to the squad. A year on, where is it in terms of where you want it to be in atmosphere, culture, environment, the squad? How close is it getting to that sort of close-knit group?
I think we are better. I think we are in a better moment. I think we train with a better intensity. I think we are doing the things in a better way, but we are not perfect. And I can, when I watch trainings, when I watch games, we are far from perfection. And we can be perfect in the position, in the intensity, all these things, and we need to work that in training. So, to be really honest with you, we are better, but far from perfection. We need to do that, especially to win in this league. We need to be perfect in everything, to have a little bit luck, to try to get in the top of the table. So we are far from the perfect environment.
Whose teams are often competing for the titles or winning titles often talk about how the dressing room might get to a point where it almost polices itself. Like, obviously, there's just that the standard and the demands day in, day out are so high that they just feed off each other. Like, Is it going to take like another year to get to that point, another 2 years to get to that
I don't know.
point?
We are not there yet, but we are getting there. That is something that is not. Sometimes it's just like that in change, but it takes a lot of work to reach that point, and we are not there yet. But we are fighting, because sometimes we are used to different things, and then when you want to change, it's hard because you have to suffer sometimes it's hard when you are not used to suffering every drill, every training. It's hard, but they are making the effort, and that is the only thing I can ask. But we are not there yet to leave the players like train, and I know that everything is going. No, I have to be there. Every drill, every moment, I still have to be there. So we are far from that team that I can talk with Jason Wilcox during training, and the speed is completely the same. We are not there.
So, wins help build that, don't they?
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course. The environment is completely different when you win, but the big teams is the same when you win. When you lose, you can be annoying, but the speed and everything, the sound is completely different. Even the aggression between them in training, it has to be different. So I'm always on top of that. They are trying, and that is the only thing, again, that I can ask for.
Just looking to that period where the AFCON is on, how much of a challenge will that be for you? Because obviously Ahmad, Brian and Nusir are very important members of your squad.
I think it's going to be hard, but then that is the good thing of the experience. We lived so many limitations last year because we changed in January and we didn't bring the players, and then we had the injury of Ahmad for 4 months. All these things. So we are prepared for that. Even it will be hard for us, but we have a different baggage to deal with that. And again, I think guys like Jack Fletcher, Shea, a lot of guys, they can step up, and we can send at the same time a message to everyone here in the academy that this is the future, but we are going to struggle, and that we have to be prepared for that.
Is Gino someone else that look, I know he's only 17 and perhaps had his chance a little bit earlier than maybe he was expecting. Is he someone that you look at who could...
Yeah, of course. He played last year. I think it was too soon. We didn't have a team that we can put a young kid with 16 that he will not struggle or will struggle a little bit. Was necessary to do that. The perfect conditions is we have the opportunity and we seek that opportunity for the kids. So he's one of the guys, but I think he started too soon, and sometimes it's hard to deal with that with the kids because they think that I'm already here. No, you are here for necessity, and we need to be careful also with that with the kids.
Okay, last two questions for Nathan and Richard. And you mentioned about you've been preparing at the academy. Do you feel you can trust a lot more of the youngsters now, even though they maybe haven't had the chance yet? That you get so many into training, are they closer to what you need them for the first team?
Yeah, first of all, I'm not preparing the academy. They are preparing the academy. We are paying more attention to them. We are talking with them. Just that is so important for us to change information about the players, what they need, how they behave. Even to call a kid for the first team, they need to behave really well. If you don't behave really well, this connection is really important. We are trying to do that. We are putting everything in place. Nutritionists for the academy starts now in our club. That is something that it should be basic. So all these things we are doing, and they are doing their job. So I have more times with them with training, so I'm more confident with them. When we put these kids to play in Premier League, they will struggle, but we'll struggle less, I think. So I think everyone in the academy are doing a very good job in the moment.
We've seen Shea Lacey's development. Obviously, had a training session with England's first team, trained with the 21s for this break, and they're really happy with him.
I'm really happy with him. I think he struggled a little bit with injuries. They did a very good job balancing his body. You can sense that he can manage more load during training. He has a lot of talent, but when they come here, they can sense the speed is completely different. So they need to spend more time with us to be prepared, because our trainings are hard, but Premier League games with the pressure is harder. So they need to be ready.
With Benjamin Sesko's injury, I mean, you obviously do have other players who can play up there, but you also did let Rasmus Højlund leave. I mean, when you look back at that, was that a bit of a risk, or was that something you were always comfortable with that being the right decision, even if someone did get ruled out?
Yeah, our thinking is that we need two strikers, or sometimes I prefer players that makes two positions, because sometimes in these clubs it's hard to make everyone happy. Imagine that Rasmus is here, and you say if Ben has an injury, you have more time to play. It's impossible to manage a dressing room like that. So that's why we need to improve our the kids from academy. If you have an injury, that is the opportunity for them, and then to have players that can play in different positions for us to manage the team in a better way.